Welcome to another episode of What's in My Husband's Lunchbox. Just a reminder, he is 6'5", was 350 down to 207. And tomorrow is going to be a unique day because this is not what he would typically take for lunch. It looks like a lot, doesn't it? Because it is. It is supposed to snow here, and when it snows, my husband works 12-hour shifts instead of 8-hour shifts. And this is going to have to sustain him, and we'd rather him take more than take less because there is no, eating out. So we're going to make sure that he has plenty. He will have his breakfast burrito. Now we put our 2 eggs, the bacon, cheese on a carb balance wrap, and what we did was add additional spinach, 2 mushrooms, 2 big baby bella mushrooms, and 2 sweet peppers, the mini sweet peppers instead of just one, and a handful of spinach like usual just to bulk it up some. And he's gonna have that with his coffee, and he will get up in the morning early and drink a cup before he leaves, so that way the coffee that he usually takes to work, he'll have that throughout his shift. And then also, let me scoot this so y'all can see it. This is a protein shake, and in here is chocolate, instant coffee, half with water, half with 2% milk, and it is good. It tastes like a coffee mocha. Hold on, let me get him to switch that on there really good, and I can show you what it looks like. What he does is we'll take and whisk it, and then once it's shaken, thank you, and it is delicious. That's one of our favorites. So he'll take that, and then also he'll have, now this is red pepper hummus. So he'll take red pepper hummus, and we did measure out. Now 16 thin wheats equals a serving, so he'll have that with his hummus. And then he also have cottage cheese. Now this here is the non-fat cottage cheese. Now we do eat full fat cottage cheese, 4% cottage cheese as well. It's just that when we eat 4%, we have to be mindful because it's full fat versus non-fat. You get more of a serving. If I'm not mistaken, it's 113 grams of serving in the non-fat. Let me just, you know what? I think I said that wrong. Hold on, let me look at something. That was right. It's 114 grams. It's 80 calories. So, that's a good amount in there. And apple. So that's a Honeycrisp apple. And what we do, we'll peel it. Now, nothing goes to waste. I want to show you this real quick. After it's peeled, we'll take these little peels. And we have chickens and we have mealworms. And we'll give the core to the mealworms and cut these skins up real small because you don't want to give the seeds to the chickens. But the skins will go to the chickens, so none of that goes to waste. And if we didn't do that, like we made coleslaw tonight, and over here on the sink, I'll show you that. Oops. There's a little piece of carrot that is literally getting tossed over in our compost bin. And then that will go in our compost to make soil for our garden beds. So, more of the story of that is try not to waste anything. Also, he'll have pecans, a side of pecans. And this is, my husband made a carrot cake. We subbed apple cider vinegar. Not apple cider vinegar. I'm saying apple cider vinegar because that's what we put in our coleslaw. We made our homemade coleslaw. We put apple cider in instead of water, and we use avocado oil instead of vegetable oil, and it's so good. And so the lid will go on top, and we thought about it. So what we did was, let me put the lid on and I'll turn it so you can see it. I love these little lightweight containers. And look how easy. And that's going to be a tip. Once I get all this done, I'll give y'all a tip. Watch this. Easy. I mean, it's just one finger, hold, snap. That easy to put those together. And I'm going to turn it to the side so you can see what we did. Can you see that? We cut it in half and put the cream in the middle, the icing in the middle, which that is whipped icing instead of buttercream icing. And that way all his topping won't come off on the lid. And what else am I forgetting? Oh, he'll take his main meal. Now tonight for dinner, we had brisket with chutney, which I'll show you that too. Like I said, we're going to get through this and we'll move all this out the way and I'll show you a couple of things. We'll have the brisket with a little bit of barbecue sauce. And then there's onion jack cheese. Got a little bit of that left. Now over here is rotisserie chicken with a little bit of shredded. And I'm going to show you something else. And I'll explain what this is. About the same amount of shredded as it is cut. You see the difference? So to trick the eye, if you can, shred your cheese because the volume looks so much more shredded than it does cubed or cut. And we're just putting some skin on top. So what he'll do is before he heats it, he'll take that off, and that way it'll keep the cheese from sticking to the top of his lid. And we had some tomato left over. So we also took tomato and put around the corners. And if he decides to eat it, great. If not, when he heats it up, because there's a little bit of leftover rice from the day before's dinner. See how we use things up? And that's on the bottle so that when that tomato gets heated, it's going to drip down and kind of help keeps the rice moist and creates a steam, right? Basically tomato juice. So those are little tricks we have to add a little flavor without adding, say, oils and butter, you know, extra additional. And this he'll probably give to the shop cat Frank, so he can have a snack. And I think and the breakfast burrito was in the refrigerator. I just didn't have room for a shot in the shot to put it. And he'll take dark chocolate, 60%, and a dark chocolate peppermint bark. Now, that's 50 calories for that one. And this one's 60. So that way he'll get kind of like a little sweet treat. An additional sweet treat if he decides to eat without a whole bunch of calories. And let's see here. I think I went through all of that. So I'm going to get this put away. And I'll be right back. All right. We got that put away so it won't get too warm. Now here comes our weight loss tips that we have used. That's worked for us on our weight loss journey. And we just picked out a couple things because it's getting kind of late, and I was like, well, we'll just put a couple of them in there and they'll get the idea. If not, they'll ask me a question and I will do everything I can to try to answer, any question that you have. But one of the tips that we do, that we started doing and we'll continue to do so in the future, is buy things that are either convenient or make them convenient. And what I mean by that is, yes, it's a little bit more expensive to buy pre-measured out cheese. Like this is a serving of cheese, right? This is a cheese wedge, a serving of a cheese wedge. A serving of chips, which this whole bag is 80 calories. Okay? Now, also, another thing, convenience. We use this all the time. When we cut our apples, when we cut our dragon fruit, when we do our strawberries, instead of adding sugar, we will add lime juice. Sorry, I had to pause that real quick to take care of something. Lime juice instead of um, fresh squeezed limes, which we have some in the freezer, but this is just convenient. What we do is just put a little sprinkle on it, and it'll keep it from browning, or it adds an instant boost of flavor without having to add sugar. So we have that. We have lemon juice too, but it's a big, huge bottle, and I didn't want it to mess up the frame here. Also, if that's, a little bit hard, and we used to do Jello, we still would if we didn't eat so much of it in the beginning, yogurt. But if that's out of the question, you want to buy in bulk, which we do also. Make sure you have plenty of containers. Now, this is one of the containers you see in a lot of videos. You just saw it earlier. It comes in two parts to where you can put something in the bottom. And then this sets, like if we were doing yogurt, we'll put yogurt in the bottom with the fruit, right? You bought the yogurt in bulk. Then you could put your granola or nuts on top. And then a container or the lid screws on. Or you can use it without this part, and like I do with the cottage cheese, just add it and screw it on there. That way you're able to, say, buy those things in bulk and measure it out. And I think we have 6 of these. So technically, if we wanted to measure out cottage cheese and or yogurt, we could do so, proportion it out, put it in the refrigerator, grab and go. Because you know how it is, if you wait till you're hungry, say these here, I'm going to use this as an example. Okay, so instead of sitting there eating them out of the box, which for me and my husband, that is a no-no. We haven't eaten anything straight from a container in almost 4 years, because that's how you overeat. Right before you know it, the whole bag of chips are gone, and somebody goes, well, are you scared of the processed foods? No, I'm scared of a whole bag of Doritos. So if a pre-portioned thing of Jello is going to save me from eating a whole bag of Doritos, I'm there for it. If you can't afford to buy, or that's not what you want to do for whatever reason, you want to buy in bulk, then get you some baggies, right? If you can't afford containers, or whatever reason, saving up for containers, get you some baggies. And here we measured out 16 crackers. And if you were planning on having crackers and hummus, I would do the same thing. Put my hummus in one of these containers, or one of the small ones like you saw earlier, and then do 5 containers of hummus and 5 baggies with 16 crackers, or whatever you're serving your hummus with. So that way, oh, I'm hungry, you can go grab your hummus and crackers. I call these Tommy overs, right? Oh, I'm hungry. You can go grab your apples that you've already got diced up in there with a little bit of lime juice on it. And lime juice is not as strong as lemon juice, so to us, we like it better. And we drain off the excess, so it's not just sitting in the excess. You put a little bit in there, shake it up, and drain off the excess, so that way they stay real nice and keep from browning longer. Avocado is another thing. We'll sit there and dice up enough avocado. Now, trick with avocado before I let you all go is, when you're doing avocado, if you're only going to eat half of it, leave the seed in the other half before wrapping it up and putting it in your fridge, and it will keep it from browning for a couple of days versus instantly browning. Next time we do that, we have an avocado. And another thing, we keep our avocados in the refrigerator until we're ready to use them. We actually have one sitting out on the counter. This is day 3, and it's not quite ready yet because it hasn't ripened. And to preserve it, we keep them in the refrigerator in the very bottom, because we have a French style refrigerator to where the freezer, that's the word I'm looking for, is on the bottom. So it's colder in the crisper drawer. We'll keep those there. And then they last a very long time. If you keep them on the counter, they're going to go right within 3 or 4 days of buying them. But if you keep them in your crisper drawer, for us, they last a while, like a long time. And the way I came upon that, we was in a grocery store a while back, a long time ago, and one of the girls was stocking the shelves, and she had brought out some avocado in the produce section. Well, my husband and I went over there to get some avocado, and we touched them, and they were like frozen. And we were like, "Oh, these are cold." She was like, "Yeah, we keep them in the freezer to be able to preserve them." I was like, oh, I told my husband I would have never guessed, but if you think about it, they sell bad cubed avocados in the freezer section. So we started, because every time we would buy them and keep them on the counter, they would go bad and we would just end up having to get rid of them. So this way we haven't had an issue with avocados ever since. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a safe, especially if you are expecting inclement weather, wherever you are, be safe out there. Take your time if you have to go anywhere. And I hope you have a fantastic day or night, wherever you are. Thanks for watching.